this email and it was from Oklahoma or Ohio or maybe Ontario. I can't really remember. I'm just kidding, bro. I know where it came from. I got an email from this officer expressing concerns about a current client causing chaos in their correctional facility. He says, and I quote, "Mr. Young, I have a question. We have this guy kicking up a bunch of dust at our facility and it's really starting to piss me off. He says I don't know what to do. He's cheeking his meds, covering his window, painting his cell windows with his own waste." I cleaned up that last part. He really wrote that the guy smearing shit all over his, well, you get it. He says that he feels like the inmate is winning and he's making a fool out of us. Okay, that's enough. There's more, but I'm not going to read it. The rest doesn't really matter. What matters and what I want to focus on is that the officer feels like the inmate is winning. You need a minute. My friends, my fellow officers, that statement couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, it's the opposite because, and I'm going to quote a kick-ass supervisor that I have the pleasure of serving with. He says correctional officers don't get paid to lose. I love that. It brings a tear to my eye. I'm being serious. So let me break that down. This isn't like a my dad could beat up your dad kind of thing. I'm not talking about conquering the population in a physical sense, so settle down. You guys always want to talk about fighting. So here's what we need to do, what I want you to do. Just take a breath. Okay, so let's start with our expectations of the population. This particular person here is in segregation. And in segregation, sometimes people kick up dust, throw trays, pop a sprinkler head, bust out a light, hoard their medication, flood their rooms with dirty, filthy toilet water. Sometimes they take over a hatch, refuse to give their styrofoam cup back. Sometimes they take that styrofoam cup and fill it with body fluids. And then they take that cup full of fluids and they fling it at you. Gross. They yell and kick and cuss, and trust me, holy crap, does it suck? The point is, if you're in seg, if you're working seg, then certain behaviors should be expected. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you should be okay with the aforementioned behaviors. I'm just saying that if you're working seg, your threshold for bullshit should be a little higher than if you're working programs. So there's that. But what's sad is I've seen officers get caught up because they start taking the inmate's behavior personally. And they get pissed like this cat here who sent me the email. They get pissed and they play right into the hands of the inmate because they're at their wit's end. And there's a lot that goes into that as well. Long hours, lack of training and resources, inadequate coping mechanisms. Officers get burnt out in seg. And when we get burnt out, we start making decisions that we wouldn't normally make. We start saying things that we normally wouldn't say. And sometimes those things come back and bite us in the backside. My question is this, and let's reflect a bit. Why are we so angry at this individual, at this inmate? What's the root cause of our frustration? I'll give you a second to answer. While you're doing that, I'm going to take a second to tack up this pass that was sent to me today. For me, it was a pride thing. For me, I felt like this kid who sent me the email. Felt like if a guy took over his hatch, it was my fault. If he didn't comply with my directives, it was because I was incapable of running my unit. I used to feel like crap if I had to call my supervisor to come in and help. And holy smokes, I felt like a joke if the teams were deployed. I felt like I lost. Like I was losing. And in uniform, in this profession, that's a crappy feeling. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Calling for help, asking for a supervisor, calling up special teams does not take away anything from you as an officer. In fact, knowing when to ask for help to handle a situation appropriately is actually an admirable quality. Nobody expects that you'll be able to handle everything all the time by yourself. And if anyone's ever alluded to or said something to you like, just handle it, then I'm sorry. That's an unfair and an impossible expectation to live up to. No wonder you're pissed. I wish we didn't do that to each other. And if you're a supervisor or in a leadership role and you're propagating this archaic attitude, shame on you. Officers can't handle everything all the time and you shouldn't expect them to. Now on to you. To the officers. We are all on the same team. Let me say that again. We are all on the same team. And it doesn't matter if you have to deploy additional resources to sort shit out. We are all on the same team. And guess what? Come here, let me share something with you. Sometimes guys act up. Some guys have a hard time following rules. And that's why they're locked up. So don't get caught up. Don't take the behavior personal. Follow your policies. Utilize your resources. And if you need to take a step back to reset, take a step back to reset. Don't get upset. Truck off your job, your freedom for what? If you like this video, if you found value in this video, straight punch that little icon. And if you're looking for more premium correctional content, check out this video right here. Or this one over here. All right, guys, that's all I got until next time. Be smart, stay safe, stay sane, and we'll talk soon.